Hello and welcome to 17th Ward YouTube. Today, joining me is Kathy Zabinski, who will be organizing the upcoming Judicial Nominating Convention for New York State's 5th District Supreme Court. And this is going to be, I think, a really interesting conversation because this is an aspect of electoral politics in New York that I think is shrouded in mystery for a lot of people. Don't think it's easy to find information on this. So our hope today is to kind of pull back the curtain a little bit and understand a little better how New York State chooses, chooses candidates for New York State Supreme Court who will run in the general election. Kathy, thank you so much for joining us.
You're welcome.
And I'm hoping you can start us off with maybe a little bit of context. Right now, it is July 2026, and there will soon be a judicial nominating convention. Can you just give us a little bit of background, please?
We can start at the very beginning and go through the time frame that is utilized. And believe it or not, you go back to 2025, December, January of 2026, we start putting our delegates list and our alternative delegates list together for the February, March petitions. It's official, our numbers, because right now we have 126, 127, 128, 129 Assembly District on which our delegates are based out of. It's called the party call, and what that letter is, it tells us how many delegates were allowed in each district and how many alternative delegates were allowed in each district. So right now, the 126 has 9, the 127th has 11, the 128th has 9, and the 129th has 11. And then it's the same number for the alternates as well.
And just to pause for a second, most judgeships in New York, the ones that are elected, they have primaries. They run the same way other candidates do. They petition to get on the ballot. They face the voters. The voters select a candidate for each party, if that's being contended. But this is a rare exception. And so for candidates wanting to run for New York State Supreme Court, which spans in right now at least 5 counties or 6 counties?
6 counties.
Counties.
Onondaga, Lewis, Herkimer, Oneida, and Jefferson.
Okay. And so this is a really weird case, right? So New York State law says that rather than doing a primary, each party, is it each party or each major party has a convention?
No, each party, the working families, well, our 4 parties in New York State, working family, conservatives, Republican, and the Democrats all run their own conventions for this.
Okay. And so in that way, the 4 recognized parties in New York, that can change over time, but right now there are 4. They each can select their candidate at a convention like this, and then they face off in the general election. And you are the one organizing the one for the 5th Judicial District, right?
Correct, for the Democrats.
Okay. All right. So just wanted to make sure we're centered there.
Yes.
And as you mentioned, it starts way back.
Right.
So it started a long time ago, right?
It's the delegates who have to carry their own petitions, not the judges, because we have to be elected to our delegates position.
Okay. And how are those people selected? Like, do they just say, hey, I want to do it, and they print their own petition, or are they recruited? I ask this a little bit slyly because I've done this once before.
They can do that, obviously. They can do it, but the Democratic Party runs a slate for each assembly district.
Okay. And do you know how they pick that slate?
When I took it over 3 years ago now, there was this, I went by the slate beforehand, who wanted to continue to do it, who didn't. And then I try to get, when there's openings, I try to get elected officials onto our delegates, as well as some lawyers too, to get their perspective, because a lot of these lawyers do work with candidates. So they have, the inside scoop on them, so they can give us some clarity on the candidates, and that's how they're chosen.
Okay.
I do have people reach out to me, say, hey, if you have an opening, please consider me. And other people say, oh my God, get me off the list. I've had enough. So basically how it's done.
Okay. And is it often the case? So I did it, just full disclosure. I was a delegate years ago. I didn't know how I got picked and it was unopposed. So basically we just went there, heard from the candidate and voted. I think this year is different though, right?
Yes, we have 2 candidates to date. So
Mhm.
yes, there will be a primary and a ballot vote at the convention.
Okay. And how did those, so can anybody run? Like, and can anyone be considered at this convention, or did those candidates have to do something to be considered at this convention?
Well, they're out there introducing themselves to all the county's delegates, and
Mhm.
it's up to the county's delegates to nominate these people. So
Okay.
technically, anybody could walk in that night of the convention and say, "Hey, I want to be on the ballot for the
Okay.
primary," but they have to find people who are going to nominate them, second them, and then they need a majority vote.
Okay. So they don't
They'd be put
register
on
in
the
advance.
ballot.
They don't ask permission. They just start a
No, no,
campaign and then
it's not
recruit
like a
people.
normal candidate. They don't have
Okay.
to put in a letter of intent to anybody, but they normally put in a informational or a letter of intent saying, I intend to run for a New York State Supreme Court fifth
Okay.
judicial judge, and send it out to the chairs so they have it. So we know
Okay.
who the candidates are.
Okay. And so I think there's always something about selecting judges that's difficult, right? There's a balance between, you want very highly qualified judges,
Mhm.
and often people don't know who is highly qualified. And then if you go to a general election, maybe it's political. If you do it from a party, I think there's maybe a thought that there's people who more know. Is the
Um,
fix in? I'm going to ask on behalf of the public here. Is the fix in, or is this a genuine selection in which people try to
no,
choose
this is
the
a
person who's
general
best?
selection. As I don't tell people how to vote. I make
Yeah.
sure they get the information they need to vote, and the
Yeah.
candidates do submit excuse me, oh, they do submit their resumes, and
Mhm.
it's mailed out to the delegates and the alternate delegates, or they mail it
Okay.
themselves. And then they start their phone calling and meeting the delegates and alternate delegates in person in each county.
Okay. Okay. And is there any formal process about, like, are there interviews or anything like that, or is it just no, they
Oh,
pursue their campaign and
well, it's something that I would like to start next year,
Mhm.
is that we have a Zoom meeting prior to the convention and introduce the candidates to all the delegates and alternate delegates
Okay.
so they can meet them and they can talk, ask questions, and make their own decisions. Because being
Yeah.
so spread out and not
Yeah.
everybody goes to fundraisers where a lot of you can find the candidates. So I think it's a better step going forward. Because if we were to do it this year, it would look like we were trying to support the Onondaga candidate over the Lewis County candidate. No, I don't need
Yeah.
no conflict like that. So we're going to wait till
Yeah.
next year and start making it a precedence.
Okay. And then speaking of those counties and the large distance covered, how is it determined who organizes? So we're here in Onondaga County. I think we're the largest segment of that, but it's not obvious why we would get to do it. How does that get decided?
You just answered the questions because we're the largest.
Okay.
It's we have the office staff at the
Okay.
headquarters
Okay.
to do a lot of the paperwork that's involved and things like
Okay.
that, and the cost
Is
too.
it
So
ever contested who would organize it? Like, is it just by
no,
agreement or, oh, okay. Okay.
no. The chairs agree who's going to do it. Like I said, it
Okay.
was just a snafu in the paperwork this year.
Okay. Okay.
So
All right. And then do we have a date? Like, do we know when this
yes,
will
it's
be?
August 10th.
Okay.
Um, Attendance begins at 5. The convention will convene immediately at 6 o'clock. And
Mhm.
it's at the NICET
Okay.
offices out in Brittenfield.
Okay. And this is a closed meeting, right? This is delegates only, right? Or am I wrong about that?
It's not open to the public because we don't have the room. We
Yeah.
we have a limit
Yeah.
on the room, and we would have to dissuade people from coming in. So it
Yeah.
is the candidates, and they can bring their campaign managers or family members and stuff like that. Or if we have students that are doing any type of field work, stuff like that, we allow them in, but we have to keep the numbers down because of the
Yeah.
room occupancy rate.
Okay. And then I'm curious too, like, so there, we mentioned the four parties do this process. Is it possible for someone to run on an independent line the way people do for other offices? Or is it
Yes.
just those four parties?
No, you can, but the numbers are astronomical.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I think that's why it's never been attempted.
So you'd have to get just an unwieldy number of signatures across 6 counties. Is that the barrier?
Yeah, but I can double check that. I know it's frowned upon to do an
Okay.
independent line like that. They prefer the political party attachment for whatever reason. I've never seen it at the Supreme Court level, but I've
Okay.
seen it at other judicial levels.
Okay. Um, all right. And then what else should we know about this? Anything else, or is it just at this point it's just we're gonna load it up and do it?
It's basically loading up to do it. The majority of the work is done behind the scenes where now the convener, they have to find somebody to chair the meeting. They
Mhm.
have to find the secretary to take the notes and attendance.
Mhm.
And then you have to write up the paperwork that, or you know what I mean,
Mhm.
do the paperwork of the candidate's information, minutes of the meeting, cover sheets, and there's one other piece, and I can't, there's really not a form name to it, it's just information of the candidacy, all that. And then whoever the prevailing candidate is, they have to run it up to Albany, New York State Board of Elections, because
Mhm.
this crosses 6 counties. You just can't file
Yeah.
in one county.
Yeah. Okay. So signatures are needed in each of the counties?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Each
And
county has
then
to do their petitions for the delegates.
okay. Okay. And then it
And
gets filed in Albany.
yeah, and this year, for the first time since I've been doing it, there was contested delegate seats up in Oswego County. Oh, that was the
Oh,
other county.
interesting.
I couldn't think of it. Yeah, Oswego County. Well, yeah, it was interesting, and so we had to wait, until June to get the finalized
Okay.
list. So from there, we just start doing start doing the process of getting the convention ready to go.
Okay. And so those contested delegates, that means that more than one person petitioned to be in that seat and there had to be a primary, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. Well,
Okay.
it also happened in, yes, it did happen in Onondaga County this year as well,
Okay.
in a couple of the smaller towns. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Anything else we should know?
No, not that I can think of.
All right.
I mean, that's the basics. I mean,
Okay.
the hardest part about this is just getting the convention put together, trying
Yeah.
to find a space that's available, big
Yeah.
enough, and getting the delegates there.
All right. All right. Thank you for organizing. I know it's a ton of work. There's a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes that people really almost never know about. And so
No,
appreciate your making
no,
sure we everybody has their ducks in a row.
we try. We have our hiccups along the way, but we do the best we can with them, and so far, so good.
All right.
Knock on wood.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.